Mr. Carney, you ran a fear-based campaign focused on Trump, elbows up.
Did you practice that line?
I did, actually.
Why does Trump prefer you over Pierre Poilievre? Why does Trump say he hates you less? Are you playing?
Do you plan?
Slow walk a by-election?
Do you plan to do anything about the weekly hate marches here in Ottawa?
What are your comments on the Masters violence?
We have weekly hate marches here in Ottawa, assaults on independent journalists. Should you maybe call back Parliament? Parliament's been prorogued a very long time. Should Parliament come back and skip summer vacation, Mr. Carney? Do you think mocking the independent media, the only people here questioning you, is a good way to start?
The press is to hold our leaders accountable, sir, and we will do that. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. Bye now.
I look forward to our next meeting, Mr. Carney.
Hold there, please.
Mr. Carney, what comes next in the trade war with the U.S.?
Hold there, guys.
Will you be negotiating with Donald Trump, Mr. Carney? Our elbows down now, sir.
Okay, that's right here, sir.
No problem. Mark Carney getting in, newly elected Prime Minister.
So what you saw there is independent journalist Chris Dacey. I think he's one of the hardest working independent journalists in this country, and he is not letting grass grow under his feet. He's not retreating to his emotions now that the Liberals have won. He's out there working hard every single day. And I thought, since my monologue was on how bad CBC is, I thought I would bring on an independent journalist, exactly Chris Dacey, to show what one man can do if he has a camera and a sense of hard work. So, Chris, thanks for coming on the show. Tell me, how were you able to catch Mark Carney out on the street like that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the same way I've always been doing this. I pay attention to what's going on around Ottawa, and Mark Carney now has a larger than Trudeau security detail, and it's pretty easy to pick out. So, like, there's the 3 SUVs, and then there's an entourage around that. And I've been doing this a long time, so like I'll get it as soon as that vehicle is spotted. Like I'll get a message, and if I'm in the area, I'm close. I just went down, and there was a bit of media around, but I just waited around and kept an eye on things, hoping I would get a chance. And when the RCMP started setting up, we had a quick chat, and then I knew for sure that I have an opportunity. So, I mean, a lot of it's patience. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah. Yeah. And working your connections, situational awareness, and just good old fashioned hard work and ingenuity. Now, you were able to put a question to Mark Carney, but instead of answering you, he mocked you, which I think is exactly how he feels about, I think, all media, to be honest with you, but independent media, I think he hates us the most. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I would maybe even go further that it's not just media. I think he thinks basically everyone is beneath him. He has maybe a particular angle at media, but I wasn't really shocked that he would come back like that, but I was a little surprised. Like, so it wasn't an answer, but he engaged, which is very different than my experience with Trudeau. It was different. Perhaps that means that he's willing to spar a little bit. I don't really know. It's still kind of early, and there's like a feeling out process for all of this, I guess. I'm new to this, and I'm definitely new to interacting with Carney. So I wasn't shocked by it, and I mean, I'm used to being mocked, to be honest. The legacy media mock me openly. Politicians mock me. They slander me in the House of Commons. So, this is kind of old hat.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of the look inside yourself, Rosemary moment for you. And, when he thinks CBC is too biased against him, he really, really, really doesn't like the media. But he's not used to being held accountable for the things that he says and he does. He thinks he's just, as you say, just sort of above it all. He's a rich bankster who gets to do what he wants and be damned with hearing from the little guy like you.
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly what he's like with them, and he comes back at people like how dare you even ask me a question? And I mean people kind of come at me. It's a pretty dynamic situation in these things. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still I'm not used to questioning the most powerful people in the country. Like that's it's an intense thing. So to be able to ask these questions where even bigger independent media such as yourselves, you barely have access. the people that do have access certainly aren't going to ask the questions that at least a large proportion of Canadians would like answers to. So it's a real unique opportunity, and I think it's something that needs to be done. I'm getting my legs under me and figuring out how to do that, but it's something that I'm going to continue trying to keep doing, and with Mr. Carney or any other politicians that I can find around Ottawa.
In my experience, the politicians are far more scared of you than you should be of them, because you have the ability with one question to make or break them and their reputation on an issue. And I know it's nerve-wracking. I've been there where you're like, oh heck, am I going to ask a question of the prime minister or potentially the next prime minister? But they're more scared of you, and just always remember that. I wish all citizen journalists would remember that. There's a reason why the politicians don't want to talk to us, and it's because they're scared of us, and we do important work on behalf of the people of this country. Now, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show. So Mark Carney's our new prime minister, just by the skin of his teeth, and who knows how long that's going to last. But he did say in the debate, that in the Liberal debate, that he does agree with Hamas, and members of his party, including who will now be sitting MPs, signed a pledge, a sort of anti-Israel pledge. And part of your work is documenting the chaos caused by these pro-terror Hamas mobs on the streets of Ottawa. I want you to tell me what comes next. Is it going to get worse? Do you think Carney will actually do anything? I'm doubtful. He's got this weird coalition of Hamas apologists and radical NDPers that voted for him. What comes next for Ottawa, for Canada's streets? We see this stuff in Toronto. Is it going to get worse? I mean, it's May Day today.
Yeah, maybe we'll hit on that maybe after too. I don't see
please.
how it possibly de-escalates. In my experience, as this stuff amps up, it only gets worse. It doesn't like stabilize it and suddenly go away. And in my experience, these things aren't slowing down. Like the number is at least once a week of fairly major protests, and perhaps sometimes the size is smaller. But I would say the radicalization or the amount of radical elements is growing. So maybe some of that people that were coming out to see what it was, a lot of these people I think a lot of people have been turned off. But there are quite a few radical elements. I would say like Islamist elements, but there's also radical left, trans elements. There's unions involved. So there's a lot of very interesting bedfellows, I guess, so to speak. And then you have, a lot of these people, like in theory, would be the base that would have elected Carney. So he's walking, he's going to have to talk he seems to be anyways, talking out of both sides of his mouth. I don't see how this gets any better unless it's directly addressed, unless we admit what's happening, talk about what's really happening, and then come up with a plan.
Let's face it, Canada's economy isn't heading in the right direction. Inflation's eating away your savings, and government debt is out of control. No politician is going to fix that overnight. With Guildhall Wealth, you can hold real physical gold and silver inside your RRSP. It's a time-tested way to protect your retirement and take back control of your wealth. Call 1-877-8-SILVER or visit guildhallwealth.com/rebel to request your free investor kit. And hey, make sure to mention Rebel News.